and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
A powerful threat calls for a greater response.
When there's a battle, bring strength.
When there's a problem, seek answers.
When there is doubt, give hope.
Not tomorrow.
Not in a few years.
But right now.
Some battles must be faced together. Cancer fighters stand up to cancer every day. And you can be part of this battle too.
Visit standuptocancer.org/American Airlines to learn more.
Together, we can save lives.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
Tough one tonight for the Cardinals. They end up losing to the Texas Rangers by an 11-1 score. Welcome into the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX. The Extra Innings Show is presented in part by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. My name is Matt Pauley. If you want to join the program, multiple ways to get connected. You can call or text, the phone number being 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Whether you're calling or texting, it is the same number. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. You don't have to follow me on Twitter to tweet at me, although I always appreciate the follows. Or if you are watching us on our video stream, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you can leave a comment in the chat, and we will respond to that as we take you for a little while longer talking through this one today. Honestly, there's not a lot to say. This was one where, I said this earlier, the box score tells the story. Cardinals just didn't play very good baseball. They got outplayed tonight. That happens. Over 162 games. You don't have to like it, but it's a fact of the matter. Every team loses games like this, and to the Cardinals' credit, they have not had many games like this year. If this was happening more often, then there would be more to say about it because it would be a sign of things that are happening. But the guy who's been your best starting pitcher this season, Matthew Liberatore, had an off night, wasn't very good in his first 2 innings, kind of locked in after that, but the damage was already done. Offensively, you've been really good this year. Tonight, just 1 run on 5 hits, and you go 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The team's been really good hitting with runners in scoring position this year. Not tonight. Bullpen has been really good over the last month or so. They've been a top 3, top 4 bullpen. Tonight, Gordon Graceffo wasn't very good. I think Oliver Marmol said it when he said that it's hard to pitch in this league when you're always behind, and that was Graceffo was getting behind and then couldn't come back around. Matt Swanson, 2 runs, 3 hits. Like it is what it is. The fun moment was Alec Burleson getting onto the mound. I'm a big, and there's going to be people who push back on this, and that's fine. It does. You don't have to feel the same way. You don't have to agree with me, but I think there's value in when you get blown out, when it's just a bad day I think there's some value in getting a smile or two at the end of the night. And Alec Burleson going out there and putting up a scoreless inning and getting the ground ball double play. I could think guys were able to laugh. Guys were able to smile. I think that pushes you into the next day and starts to rinse this day out a little bit sooner. I could be off base on that. I've heard people who are smarter than me say the exact same thing. So I tend to think that's true. I know there's going to be some Tommy Tough guys out there that think that, a loss like this is a loss. There's no reason to smile or be happy or anything. And I get that. I understand it. But, man, it's a long season. 162 games is a long season. And you're going to have some of these. And if you can finish this off with something kind of fun, something a little bit different, good. So happy for Alec Burleson. That, to me, that is the Cardinals highlight of this game. Alec Burleson going out and throwing a scoreless inning and getting some smiles on some people's faces. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. Tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Leave a chat or a message in the video chat if you're watching on any of our social media channels. We'll run through a couple of text messages that are coming in from the 573. Says, just wasn't Liberators or the Cards night tonight. Better days are ahead. Forget about this one. Go get the Rangers tomorrow. Yeah, that's all you can do. Kevin Wheeler and I were talking about this a little bit today on the Redbird Rush Hour, how the footballification of baseball, and not that where people are putting too much value on any single game. Because in football, when you're playing just a 17-game schedule, there's so much value and so much importance for every game, where it's not like that in baseball. If you're really upset, if you're really concerned about what you saw or what you heard tonight, I would just tell you it's going to be okay. You have games like these. Now, to your credit, I'm not getting a lot of like really negative messages. So I think the fan base has realizes that. I'm probably very much preaching to the choir. You guys are smart. You know what this all matters. So I don't need to be going through all this. Interesting question from the 608. Says the division is getting really interesting. Looks like the Brewers are waking up. I think it's a 4-team race the whole summer. Do you agree? I'm not a big believer in Cincinnati. And coming into the season, I kind of thought that Cincinnati was maybe the most talented team in the division, just kind of unrefined. But then I look at that lineup, and I just think it's terrible. But they've got a Hall of Fame manager, and they've got enough pieces, and it's not a great division where they can stick around. So I don't totally believe in the Reds, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they do stick around. Like, I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth on that one. It's not done intentionally. It's just, not really all in on the Reds right now, but leaving open the door. The Brewers are interesting because on paper, they're not a very good team, but we say that about them every single stinking year, and they outplay expectations. And it was starting to look like maybe this was going to be the year where they actually didn't come through. And to the texter's point, they've won 5 in a row. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're getting healthy. All of a sudden, they have more starting pitching than they know what to do with. You know, a guy like Tobias Myers is down at AAA. They just they sent another guy down recently. Jose Quintana's back healthy. Brandon Woodruff, we don't really know what he's going to look like at the big league level. It's been a really long return from injury for him. But the Brewers are scary. I still think the Cardinals and Cubs are the class of the division, with the Brewers a half step behind. But kind of like I said with Cincinnati, where it wouldn't shock me if the Reds stick around. Well, it wouldn't shock me if that happens, and it would shock me even less if the Brewers stick around as well. But you're right. I mean, right now, Cardinals are 3 back of the Cubs. Brewers are 5.5 back of the Cubs, 2.5 back of the Cardinals. Reds are 6.5 back of the Cubs, 3.5 of the Cardinals, 1 of the Brewers. So it's 5.5 games, 6.5 games separates 1 through 4. Is that the tightest division, 1 through 4 in baseball? I bet it is. No, the American League West, 1 through 4 is separated by 4.5 games. But that division, Seattle and Houston are in a virtual tie. Texas 3.5 back. Angels are 4.5 back. Angels are a bad team, and they're sticking around. That's the only other division in baseball where the top 4 teams are separated by less than 6.5 games. So I don't know how this division is going to play out this year. I do think it's going to be fun. I do think that, it's not a lot separates these teams from a talent perspective. So not a lot should separate them from a standings perspective either. Jack from Arnold texting in says, this always scares me because I'm live and I can't preview the messages before I read them. I just read them off the cuff. And Jack, before he says anything, and I've mentioned before, we have a terrible texting system where they come in multiple parts. So I'm scrolling up and down to try to figure it out. And after Jack identifies himself, He says, kind of an off-the-mark question. I don't know what's coming next. I've yet to read through the question, but now I'm on high alert to see what words are about to come out of my mouth. It says, oh, okay, I like this. Why do they always say an announcer when they are off is on assignment? If John Rooney took the weekend off, that's okay. He deserves it. I'm just always curious as to where the on assignment tagline came from. So first off, John is emceeing the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame induction, so he's not taking the weekend off. You're right. He deserves as much vacation time that he wants to take. He is awesome. And love listening to John Rooney. But he is working this weekend because of and Jim Jackson, Cardinals engineer, going in, a bunch of guys, like the really, really impressive class of individuals going in to the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. So, yeah, that's where he is at. I don't know if they mentioned that on the radio broadcast tonight, but I think it's certainly been mentioned that Jim was getting into the Hall of Fame, and this comes after he got into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame this past offseason, which is awesome for Jim Jackson. I'm really happy that John is able to be down there to MC the event. Anyways, the origin of on assignment, I don't know. It's just been always something that says, I don't know why we say that. It is just what we say. I think it's the broadcasting lingo for they're not here. Now, a lot of times, for a lot of folks in broadcasting, like if you're out doing like a national game or something, that's kind of where the part of it. If you're a local broadcaster that does national work, well, when you take off for national work to go do that, that's when you're on assignment. But we just always say it for everything now. I say it all the time. So that's where it is. So Jack, appreciate the text message. Interesting question. I think more than anything else, on assignment started because that's literally what it was, where broadcasters would be doing something else in the broadcasting industry. And now just whenever somebody is not there, that is the term that we use. We go with on assignment, and that's probably not going to change. Good question. Good question, Jack. Appreciate it. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. You can also leave a message on the video chat. We're getting some of those in. We'll take a look at those when we come back in just a moment or so. You're listening to the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman, like a Hall of Fame talent, an MVP. Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been going for 57 years strong now. A lot of happy customers. They've done a wonderful job for the St. Louis metro area when it comes to patios, sunrooms, pergolas, fences, decks, you name it. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. Mention me, Tom Ackerman, and receive 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project, chesterfieldfence.com.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
There's a big red barn where you say green. Norm's Bargain Barn. Discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
When you own a business, you know there's no shortage of bold moments. At VOS, we're here to help you meet those moments in stride. Whether it's reducing your exposure to check fraud, setting up direct deposit, or helping make credit card processing seamless, VOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to VOS today. Visit bankwithvos.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, facility managers, At Graybar, we're not just one of the largest distributors of electrical and datacom parts in North America. We're your connection to help make your buildings smarter. We work with best-in-class manufacturers to supply products for wireless, security, renewable energy, lighting, and critical power solutions. And we have a network of integrators nationwide that can help make it work all together. So, the next time you're thinking about making your building smarter, think Graybar, and we'll help you get connected. Visit graybar.com/connectedbuildings to learn more.
When disaster strikes, the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis is there. Tornadoes have left families displaced and communities in crisis, but you can help. The Urban League Tornado Disaster Relief Humanitarian Fund provides emergency shelter, food, clothing, and critical support to those affected. Your donation brings hope when it's needed most. Visit ulstl.com to donate. That's ulstl.com. Stand with us. Stand for St. Louis.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
Tough one tonight for the Cardinals. They end up losing by an 11-1 score in Arlington to the Rangers. Welcome back in. If you'd like to join the program, you can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, or leave a comment on the video chat, and we'll get to some of those as we move forward. Let's grab a phone call. Michael has given us a call. Hey, Michael, you are on the Extra Innings Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to make the comment that, the Cardinals could do a lot of interesting stuff, and they don't seem to do it. It's like I would have a knuckleball pitcher if I could get that. I'd have a couple of base stealers, and then maybe even a player manager, something really cool like that. That's all I have.
Oh, can I stop? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Hey, can you name me one knuckleball pitcher that's walking the face of the earth and is an active pitcher?
No, I actually can't. So
okay, so how are the Cardinals going to go? Hold on, no. We're having a conversation. How are the Cardinals going to go get a knuckleball pitcher when basically they don't exist?
I don't know. I thought someone out there would be,
Nope. There's one guy who can throw a knuckleball. His name's Matt Waldron. He's injured right now. Hasn't pitched since 2024. He's going through a rehab right now. But there's one guy who's even active who can do that. Here's the next thing. If you want to have specific base stealers on the roster, who would you remove from the roster to have that very specific position?
I guess Snoot Bar. I'd get rid of him. Get a really cool base stealer.
Okay. Thank you for the call. That might be the worst call we've ever gotten on this show. I'm just saying. I don't know if that guy was being serious or not. I hope he wasn't being serious. That was terrible. So I am as accepting of anybody of differing opinions from mine, but woo, that was. I hope that guy had a couple drinks tonight or something. Hope he's having a better night than the Cardinals did for sure. All right, let's keep on moving along here. We got a video stream message from Nick. Says, do you think Matthew Liberatore has enough mental toughness now to not let that start roll over to the next start? That game was very Cardinals over the last 3 years. Pretty brutal tonight. Matthew Liberatore is one of the toughest dudes on the team. There is, of every pitcher on the team, I don't know if there is a pitcher who's more mentally built for that sort of that sort of appearance. I have no worries whatsoever. I mean, he even said in the post game how he wishes he could be pitching tomorrow. So no worries whatsoever on Liberatore. And so there you go on him. I'm not worried about it at all. Text message from the 314. Thank goodness Field of Dreams was on tonight. Gave me a reason to cry for a different reason. You say, okay, you don't have to cry about this one. It was a tough one for the Cardinals. I get it, but certainly no reason to cry. It was just a tough game tonight. They end up losing by the 11-1 score. Extra Innings Show is being presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Game number 2 of this series coming up tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be Sonny Gray going for the Cardinals. The right-hander's 5-1 with a 4.06 ERA, and Patrick Corbin is going to make the start for the Rangers. Lefties 3-3 with a 3.75 ERA. Certainly appreciate you being tuned in with us this evening. Again, the Cardinals, they end up losing today by an 11-1 score. They will try to even up this series coming up tomorrow when we'll be back with more Cardinals baseball right here on KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman, like a talent, an MVP. Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been going for 57 years strong now. A lot of happy customers. They've done a wonderful job for the St. Louis metro area when it comes to patios, sunrooms, pergolas, fences, decks, you name it. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. Mention me, Tom Ackerman, and receive 48 months interest-free financing on your